Time for what? It's time for the crochet along. Whoop, whoop. It's that time of year again, and I'm ready with another crochet along for you guys. Really looking forward to see what you will do with this. It's the new Iceland crochet along, and we start today, September 1st. Just welcoming the autumn here. Actually, we haven't had much of a summer, so I mean, autumn is fine. I already showed you this here, which is my original Iceland blanket. Ooh. And this one here was made out of wool from Iceland yarn. It's an Icelandic company. And like I said in the intro and in the pattern itself, this really is good. You can just buy the main color and then use up all your blue scraps here for the back side, if you will. The pattern is still available for 50% discount for the first 24 hours now. I added 24 hours. It was on discount in August, and now for the first 24 hours of the crochet along, so until midnight tomorrow, Monday. And after that, it will be on 25% discount during the call, so don't worry. You can get that. The links are below, of course. I already updated the pattern, so you now have it. La 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 la. And what I'm going to do in the videos, we're going to do 7 videos, daily videos for the whole of this week. La 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 la. But some of them are just short. I started off, I'm going to show you here the little sample that I made. I'm going to show you how to make this here. So I show you all the parts, different parts that you need to know. And basically this is the start of both the medium size and the large size original Iceland blanket. You see, this is the same start here. I didn't do all the patterns because that's just really doing it again. That's just all in the pattern itself, in the charts. But I first show you how to start doing the simple way of mosaic here, and then we have the linen stitch bit, and then we have, this is part 3 here, the Iceland pattern, the first one, and then we have the half double crochet linen stitch, that's part 4. In part 5, I just show you how to mirror it, because I didn't want to leave you hanging there with no part 2, because you really have to have the reverse, but I don't show you how to crochet that. I just kind of talk you through this here. And then part 5 is blocking, which I have already done here. And then part, what is it? Well, I'm not quite sure on the part, but anyway, the 7th part. How is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 is blocking, and then 7 is the border. And I'm just going to get you started with the border. It's the same envelope border that I use usually for all my blankets, but this time it's just a tad different because we have these different texture here. It's not all mosaic crochet, so I just really want to go over with you how you do the first row here and start the border, and then I have loads of border videos available. But anyways, you will have 7 straight days of moi. Anyways, if you get enough, you just turn it off. But I'm really excited to show you all this. And what I will be adding, yes, I was going to say, I used for this one here, I used stone washed from Sheppes, yeah, and it really gave very good texture, and it's perfect to, like I said, buy the main color and then use up your scraps. You can use different colors for the background, and it looks very nice in this pattern, in this yarn actually. Then what I also want to show you is, because you can make any kinds of projects. You can see they're all included in the yarn starts in the blanket and in the projects over Ravelry, and they showed in our Facebook group. My tester team have done loads of different projects with this pattern. Sue made a bath mat that was just brilliant. I really want one. And Maria made the bag. And then we have loads of blankets with different types of yarn and different weight groups of yarns, so you can do, you know, hopefully you will find something that you like. What I want to show you now is what I just finished last night. Is my second island blanket, and this is the, yes, Volcano Island version. So here you go. I'm gonna whoopa. And this one is very simple. As you can see, I only used these two patterns that I show you in the tutorials, but it's so nice. And then we have the volcano islands here. It's very subtle. I didn't want to do something like, I don't like these like graphic designs, but if you can see here, yeah, you just have to sort of here are the volcano islands. This is red here in the background, and the volcano went off actually just when I was finishing the blanket. No, like a couple of days ago, it went off again. So, but I wasn't about to, like, I went to the beach with the other one. Yeah, did some lovely photos. I'm not gonna go like hiking up to the volcano for this one. I'll just tell you that straight away. You'll just have to imagine. But this one is so nice. I love it, and this is perfect for scraps. That is what it is, because I thought, you know, I always give a good advance on on the crochet along project so that you can buy your yarn and anything. But if you just want to jump in now, you can go scrappy, babe. Like, this is perfect. For this I used this here, which is the Icelandic flötulopi. It's like we call it ploppy in the group. It's unspun wool. So it's like, it breaks very easily like this, but it's very easy to work with, and I love it, and it's really light and soft. So I use this here, and you use so little for each section. Like, I used like 15 grams of the color B and 25 of color A for each pattern here. And this is the medium size as well, sort of. I will include all the yarn stuff for this, but you really and instructions for this as well. But this one is really easy, and it was just so tempting just to do the. You see the islands, I mean, they're just so much fun. And you just have to do these two and like go up, and like sometimes I put them up and sometimes down. And it was so much fun to hook on also, because like I didn't have to think at all. These really leads you on, like, it's so easy. And it's sort of like, it's got sort of like a woven quality to it. So I will definitely be exploring more this newish way of mosaic patterns. Oh, and I finished my border last night. Isn't it nice? This is the extra border that is available only on charts in the pattern. But it's really easy, and I think it frames it up very nicely. And you get lots of colors in there. So this is the volcano island, and this is the original island. And here's the little swap that I'm going to show you. I think I'm going to use this one actually to put it up as a street graffiti. If I do, I will be sure to film and show you. Maybe I should brighten up my neighborhood here with all this bloody rain. But let us not curse, let us be happy and rejoice, and the files are out and you are ready to start. So I'm probably forgetting something, but let's do this, your mom. Oh, let's go. Okay, off we go with the Islands cows. The crochet along of the year. Wow, wow. Okay, so like I showed you in the intro, I'm gonna show you these first bits here. All the different techniques that we use in the blanket. And I used the Saga wool for my blanket. I think it's an excellent idea to buy your main color. I'm going to continue with the white here just to continue in this same theme. And then you can use all kinds of scraps for your color B. And especially I think is lovely for this design. I think if you use white, then use sort of like teal and turquoise and blues and what have you. So I found this Shepherd Stonewash that I had. I had a couple of these white skeins, so I'll be using one for this sample, I think. And then I had these beautiful greens and blues here. That I'm going to use for color B. Okay, so for color A, I'm using the white, and then the scraps for color B, and then I can arrange them as I like, which is fun also to change and switch in between colors. I'm going to use a 3.5 millimeter hook for this. You just use something that fits your yarn. In my blanket I used the DK wool, and there I used a 4.5 millimeter. You just use a hook that suits your yarn. Okay, so for the, I'm going to show you how you can, I'm going to crochet along with you while you start either the medium size blanket or the large size, okay? They are the same repeats lengthwise really, but in the large size you just do more repeats, and that one is worked horizontally, you know? So the lines on that one are going like this, and the lines on the medium one are going like this, okay? But they are exactly the same, just more repeats. So in the medium size, you're going to chain up 163 stitches, and that is a 16 island repeat. And what I mean by islands is just this here, like this is one island, that's 10 stitches, okay? So we measure the repeats in the islands, or the mountains, if you will. So the small one is 100, the medium size is 163 stitches, and the large size you chain up 283 stitches, okay? And that's a 28 island repeat. So as you can see, there are 3 extra stitches here. If each repeat is 10 stitches, then 16 by 10 is 160. And then the 3 extra stitches are the border stitches at the beginning and end of the row, plus 1 extra stitch at the end, so the pattern is symmetrical. Okay, so off you go, and you chain up any size that you're going to make. I'm just going to do 3 repeats here in this little sample to show you guys, but you chain up either 163 or 283, and you can see all the measurements and yarn stats and what have you in the pattern and on the Ravelry page intro to familiarize you with that. I'll leave the link below in comments. But enough of the practicals, let's get going and crocheting along together. So I'm just going to show you quickly here. When we start, you chain up, and then you first make a little slip knot, because we want this to be beginners friendly. So I'm going to show you, you do the slip knot, put it up in your hook, and then we're going to chain up, and I'm going to do 33 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we're just going to imagine that I have 33 here now. You do 163 for the medium or 283 for the large, and no use me doing all these here on camera. I already have my bit done. So you chain up the amount of stitches that you need, and then you add 1 extra chain, and that is just a turning chain, because we're not going to work into that one. And then you work the first row of the blanket is 1 single crochet into each and every stitch. So we're going to skip this first stitch here, because you see our loop is sort of coming up out of that one. We're going to skip that one. We're going to put our hook into the second stitch from the hook, like so. We're going to get our yarn here, yarn over, and pull it up. And then we have 2 loops up on our hook, and we yarn over again and go through both. That's a single crochet, you guys. And then when you want to see which one to go into, you see when I pull on it, this one gets all open and inviting. Well, it's not that one. That means you've already gone into that one, and you go into the next one here. Into the loop, yarn over, pull your yarn up, and you have 2 loops up on your yarn, and yarn over and go through 2. And then you just continue this same way all the way back. And I had actually done this. So here I have 33 chains, and then I've chained 1 extra, and then I have 33 single crochets. Here back you should have 163 or 283 for the medium and the large sizes. And I just have to do 1 more here actually. It's just 1 single crochet single crochet stitch into each chain. And now the last one here, we're going to do it in, get the yarn come up, yarn over, pull through, and then you cut your yarn, and the last stitch we do, like we pull it through like this. So that's like 1 chain here, and we're gonna whoop, pull it all the way through. Whoopa! Well, there we go. That was row 1 of the island crochet along. La 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 la. Off we go. Okay. On to row 2. We already did row 1, and we're going on to row 2. And actually this row 1 here will count as the first row of the mosaic pattern that you start with. And I am starting here with the triple wave breaker, which is just 3 rows here of single and double. So we are going to do the triple wave breaker, and we've already made the first row, and now we're on to row 2. And then we introduce our color B. And I'm going to start with this turquoise, which I must say, these I've used these so many times before. I actually used it for another wave pattern of mine back in the day that's called Alda, which means wave in Icelandic. And I really love these colors, the stone moss colors. Such fun, such fun. Okay, so row 2 of the triple wave breaker is just, we start by doing the border stitch at the beginning of row, and then we're going to put our hook under the both loops of the first stitch here of the row, and we're going to yarn over and pull our yarn up, yarn B, and we're going to do 1 chain here just to secure, and then we're going to do another single crochet here into this same first stitch, both loops. Okay, so this is the border stitch at the beginning of row, and we do this every single row the same when we're working the mosaic stitches, not when we're working other bits of the pattern. Okay, so from here on out I'll just say the border stitch at the beginning of row. And for row 2 of the triple wave breaker, we're just going to be working single crochet stitches into each stitch, and because this is mosaic crochet, then we're only going into the back loop. I'm just trying to see where you can see it. Well, yeah, there we go. Okay, just into the back loop. So it's exactly the same as before. Just go into the back loop, yarn over, pull your yarn up. You have 2 loops up on your hook, and yarn over and go through these 2. It's so wonderful how something so very, very simple can make up such beautiful creations. Don't you guys agree? So I have my 33 stitches here. You have your what? 160 at least. But the first row here is just single crochet into each stitch. Nice and easy. Good to start us off. Nice and easy, right? Okay, so these 3 repeats are like on the cusp of being too short to cut and do another shot. I'll just power through here. I'm very excited that we've started. Everybody doing their islands blankets. Oh my god, I can't wait to see yours. That's the most fun part of my job. Well, that and being crocheting all day, every day. It's not too shabby. Okay, so I've done my what have I now? The border stitch, and here I have 1 stitches of single crochet. You should have 161 or 181, and then we're going to do the border stitch at the end of the row, and that is the same as the beginning. We're going to work under both loops here, both strands of both loops of the stitch, and we yarn over and pull our yarn up and do 1 single crochet here, and then we cut the yarn over once more, and now whoopa, row 2 all done. It's just a border stitch, single crochet into each, always into the back loop, and then the border stitch at the end of the row. And we go, row 3 of the triple wave breaker pattern, and now we use color A again. It's always A, B, you guys. It's so nice to be sitting down with you guys crocheting again. Sometimes I get like anxiety to start filming, but every time once I start, it's just like, Okay, so we do the border stitch at the beginning of the row, and then this here is a very simple 2-stitch repeat for this row here. We're going to do 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet, and the single crochet goes into the back loop here as always, and double crochet. If you're new to mosaic crochet, let's just take a minute here. You yarn over, find your next stitch, but you go 1 row down, all the way down here, you see, and go up and under, yarn over and pull your yarn up. Now you have, and so you're just working your double crochet 1 row down, you see. Now you have 3 loops up on your hook. You're going to yarn over again and go through 2, Now you have 2 up on your hook, and you're gonna yarn over again and go through 2 again. Now voila, this is the first repeat done. You're almost there. I mean, this blanket's practically finished. Okay, 1 single crochet and 1 double, going 1 row down. And that's why we're always doing these single crochets into the back loop, you guys, because we want to leave that front loop open for our double crochets that are going down 1 row. Okay, so 1 single crochet into the back loop and 1 double crochet going 1 row down. That's all that's happening here now. And we continue like this the whole row. These are kind of like a recurrent theme rows throughout our pattern, and they are just so relaxing. I love working on this pattern. I'm on my 2nd blanket now. Obviously I'm filming a bit beforehand, not too much actually. And I absolutely love working on these. It's just lovely. Because you don't have to count very much. Well, you do have to count in the if you do the crazy mountains in the middle, and if you do the waves. Okay. So this is just all the way through. Slow TV, row 2 of the triple wave breaker, the first pattern that we are doing in our Islands Crochet Along 2024. Who's with me? No, this is not right. God damn it. Found my mistake, because I know we're supposed to end with a single crochet here and then the border stitch, but it wasn't fitting. And look what I did while I was chatting away with you guys. I did 2 here in a row, you see? So this one, if, for example, if I did this mistake at the beginning of 163 row, I would let this be like without a doubt. It's just grand to have a little mistake in your, and you could just then count your stitches and make sure, like here, I am obviously adding 1 stitch really. So I would just fifth it here at the end, fix it, or just not go into the end and leave the end here, okay? But since this is such a small piece, I'm going to unravel. You see, this one here was the one that I did, but I didn't leave 1 stitch in between. There you go. I mean, I obviously did this on purpose, just to show you guys. Such a nice person. You see here, the next double crochet is supposed to go into this one, because this one here is below the stitch we already worked into. So always take care to find your next stitch and go down there. But the good thing is that even, and this can be a trick as well, when you're chaining up, to do a bit, maybe rather have a bit too much than too little, like if you're in doubt. Because, I mean, let's face it, who wants to count like multiple times? But, and then when you get to the end, you can always just leave some of row 3 where we start with the pattern, and you see what's happening better. It's easier to count. Then you could always just leave a few stitches at the end without crocheting into them, and they will just go into the border, or you can unravel them. That is the magic of mosaic crochet, because you can always unravel from the left side as well. Well, not as well, only. Okay. And now time to see if I have ducked up again. If I have something else that I want to show you, mistakes that you might do, that I'm just like taking time out of my life to show you. Okay, now it's fitting. So we do 1 double crochet here at the end and 1 single crochet, because we started with a single crochet, you see. You always want to be mirroring beginning and end of the row. And then you do the border stitch at the end of the row. 1 single crochet here, 1 chain, cut the yarn, Whoopa, row 2, no, row 3, all done. So pretty, so simple, happy, happy. Next up, row 4, and that's color B again. And so the nice thing about this pattern is that we're always using color B only to do single crochet rows. Okay, now I switched it up. I'm using another green here. I already used the blue, so it's fun. You can play, you can see how I did that here as well. I would play with my blues here, and you can use all kinds of tones, which is fun. So now I'm going to do one row here of the green, because in this pattern you're never using color B to sort of draw off the pattern. Color B is just sort of like background. So all the color B rows in the mosaic crochet bits are just single crochet rows. And this is another thing that is very like tranquil and relaxing about this pattern. Every other row you just don't have to think at all. I mean, about your color, yeah, but usually you have that figured out, you know, a bit in advance. And then you just do one single crochet into each and every stitch. And you're just sort of marking, you're just doing the background color for the white to be sort of painting up the pattern. So you only do the double crochets in color, in main color rows, which is just lovely. I'm just showing you all the bits here because it's the first part and we want this to be beginner friendly, and let's face it, I have nothing better to do. Okay, one single crochet into each stitch. Oh, don't you just love this yarn? It's so pretty. I must make like a cushion in this or something. Could you imagine a baby blanket in this? Or just a medium blanket or a big blanket, or just like, yeah, anything. We finish off with the border stitch at the end of the row. Chain 1 here. Cut the yarn. Whoopa! Row 4, all done. On we go. Row 5. And like all odd number rows, we're working now color A. And so we're painting with our DCs. And we're going to start with a border stitch at the beginning of the row. And this one is basically the same as this one here before, number 3, but now we're gonna switch it up. So we're gonna do one double crochet first. We go down one row for that, and then one single crochet. So it lands on the opposite from the DCs we made in row 3, as you can see. And since we're just using the background color like this, it's quite all right that it's different shades of blues and greens and what have you, or whatever colors you're choosing. I do recommend being within maybe the same color family. You could check out my color theory video for what I mean with color family, like all blues or all reds or pink and stuff like that, so that you do get a definite, like, don't use, you know, just something that has good contrast always with the color A really is the most important. But I mean, yeah, you don't even have to be in the same color family, really. I mean, I am very excited to see all the versions you're gonna do. But this one is kind of foolproof. Like if you do it in greens and blues and turquoise and what have you, it's, well, in my opinion, always pretty. But then again, I am the woman who just painted my porch bright turquoise blue, so maybe it's not the norm, I don't know. But I love these colors. So it's just one double crochet, one single crochet, and they always land, you see, they should land on the double crochet lands on the single crochet from row 3. Very easy and relaxing. One single, one double, one single, one double, and here, because we started with a double, we're gonna end with a double as well. That's what that extra stitch at the end is to get it to be symmetrical with the beginning, with the start of row. So one single and then one double here. That's the extra stitch at the end of the row. And we finish it with the border stitch at the end of the row. Chain one, cut the yarn, whoopa. All done with row 5. Hee. Next up is row 6. That is a color B. So we're just gonna do single crochets, abracadabra, whoopa, wee. All done. So it's just one single border stitch at the beginning of the row, single crochet into each, and border stitch here. And as you can see, I introduced my third color B. So now I have all these here, which do brighten up the back side and give more depth into the pattern here. So cannot recommend it enough to use scraps for your color Bs. We all want to use up that stash, don't we? So satisfying. And you can also, you get to buy, you know, for color A. So it's a win-win situation. Next up is row 7. And that is the last row here for this pattern, the triple wave breaker. It's just the start of the pattern. And that row is actually, this row 7 is the same as row 3. Like, it's exactly the same as we did here for this row here. So I'm just going to show you anyways. We start with the border stitch at the beginning of row. And now we're going to do the opposite of what we did the last time, you see. Now we're going to do one single crochet and one double. And so the double always lands here in between the two doubles from the last row, and it's at the same spot as we did here before. Yeah, so just one single, one double, and like that we go the whole of the row. And this is the last bit of this first pattern here that I'm going to show you today. And if you can finish that in a day, I mean, there's no stress. You don't have to finish. We don't have to be all on the same time or anything. The plan is at least to release the videos every day, just to keep up a fun rhythm. And you could also just do a smaller project, obviously. And to start with, or whatever project you like. But you do need the pattern for this one, because I'm not going to show you all the patterns. I'm just going to show you how to read the patterns and how you do all the different bits with the linen stitch and how you mix and match and whatnot. So I'll be with you here for the first like 1/3 of the blanket, and after that you're good to go. It's all just repeat. Okay, we're getting to the end here of this, and we're going to do, it's just one thing different here at the end of this 7th row in the triple wave breaker. We're going to end with a single crochet, just like we started with one. And then here we're going to do the border stitch, just one single crochet here like this. And we're not going to cut our yarn B, because tomorrow I am going to show you how we work then next in continuation the linen stitch here. And we are working that back and forth, not like the Mosaic crochet bits. So now you finish here. Oh, isn't this just pretty like it is? So cute. So we just finish here and do not break your yarn. And tomorrow I will be back to show you the linen stitch. And here you can see all the colors be incorporated. They're all just here in the background sort of. And we have finished part 1, the first pattern of our Islands blanket. The crochet along of the year. Okay, thanks for being with me today, you guys. Always a pleasure. I'll see you tomorrow. Toodaloo! Thank you.